All of our NFL conversation in amidst all of the Michigan madness. Our next stop is Philadelphia. The Eagles have lost 3 straight. Tough overtime loss to the Chargers on Monday night. Jalen Hurts turned the ball over 5 times. Yesterday, Nick Sirianni, head coach, fielded this question about the reigning Super Bowl MVP.
Is Jalen definitely your starter Sunday?
Yeah, absolutely.
Is there a possibility later this season, if he continues to struggle, that you can make a change at the quarterback spot?
No, I think that's ridiculous. I think, Jalen Hurts, I know every time I go out in that field with Jalen Hurts as our quarterback, we have a chance to win the game. And that's something that's been proven.
All right, Dan Orlovsky, I've been waiting all week to turn to you on this because you were with me on Monday, and then they played the game on Monday night. As you look at this, all of a sudden we have questions about the benching of Jalen Hurts.
What a dumb question.
I mean,
hey, that sounds like a Bussin With The Boys question. That's what that sounds like.
It is a question that is indicative of the way the fan base, I think, right now feels. Not whether how smart or dumb it is, notwithstanding, that I think reflects the way some people think. They think the problem with the Eagles' offense is the quarterback. I trust you on this more than anyone. Is it?
No, Jalen Hurts has not played at the level that we've seen him consistently over his career. But there's also the reality that their tailback, Saquon Barkley, there's 2 guys in the NFL who have 50 or more runs that have gone for 0 negative yards. Saquon and Ashton Genty. So that's Saquon, that's their offensive line, they're not dominating the line of scrimmage as much. I would tell you this, it's very obvious, but this isn't a surprise, that Jalen needs 2 things. 1, yes, Jalen needs a good run game to play at his optimum level. So does mostly every quarterback in the world. 2, he's got to run a little bit. So, I like a lot of the things that I saw from Monday night. I would sit there and say the 2 things you have to clean up, and if you do, it's going to be better. Have a plan for pressure when you're not in empty. Throw the ball downfield more in empty, Jalen. It's not just catch and throw underneath. This is the same essentially clip of Chicago a couple weeks ago. And then listen, when we dial up a shot and it's there, you got to throw it. Okay, so that I'm not absolving Jalen from other stuff, but this is from Monday night. I called a shot play. It's open. I need you to launch the shot play. But I'm more encouraged from their offense coming out of Monday night than I was the past couple weeks. Jalen Hurts is 4th in the NFL right now in touchdowns. 4th. Behind Stafford is one of the front runners for the MVP. Josh Allen, who's making a run at MVP, and Dak Prescott. He's 4th, and we're asking, are we going to bench him? This is a guy that's gone to the playoffs 4 times. He's been to the Super Bowl twice. He won MVP in the Super Bowl once and could have won it a second time. And we're 10 months removed from it, and we're going, are you going to bench him?
Let me ask you this. Instead of asking, is Jalen Hurts the problem of the Philadelphia Eagles offense? Because I agree, there's a multitude of issues on that Eagles offense. Do you think, when you have a run game that could be average or below average, do you think Jalen Hurts is good enough as a quarterback to be the solution for the offense?
I don't have to think it. I watched it. I have the empirical data that says last year. My thing with quarterbacks is always
best running back in the game.
If you don't have those things, if Saquon does, they're trying to win a Super Bowl this year.
All right, so I'll go to 2022 when they went to the Super Bowl.
Right.
Yeah, and they also had a top 5 rusher in the league.
Right, but yes, but I said it's clear Hurts does need that run game to play at his optimum level where they can create the one-on-ones in the outside and kind of have that be the majority of their pass game. Yes, but that's not surprising. We've known that about Jalen. The question is, how many guys do you feel, if I give you that, can you go win me the Super Bowl? He's one of them. Yeah. He's done it.
Can I ask Hawk a question, my receiver here? Because there's been some question. I mean, A.J. Brown has done a lot of talking and a lot of cryptic this and that.
Yeah.
And then he's out there the other night, and certainly to my eye, it looked like he dropped a lot of balls that turned that game around completely. Yeah, where do we stand on the receivers in Philadelphia?
Everybody's culpable. I think that's where it's at with the offense in general. I think the offense is predictable. I think Petula hasn't done a great job of leveraging the abilities he has with these players, to your point about Jalen and what his skill set is. And to your point for A.J. Brown, you got to make these plays. You're the number 1 guy whenever you're winning or it doesn't go the way that you feel like it could be, or to your words, you're not reaching your full potential. As a number 1 guy, you have to make these plays, and Jalen has to see the field better. I didn't watch that game and become encouraged by what I saw from Jalen. I saw a player who was not seeing the field the way he should have. To your point about missing some of those big throws on that red zone interception you showed, there was a touchdown down the field to Jahan Dotson. That should have been number one. There was 2 cop-outs. There was 2 defenders that could have got hands on that interception.
No doubt. It's a mix of everybody. The offensive line has not played well this year. They've been injured, but they've been so simplistic on offense. And now you're trying to be a complex, we're going to trick you offense in December.
Yeah,
like we didn't make those
it.
adjustments end of September. Hey, what's working, what's not working? Let's evaluate and let's fix it right now. If you're going to change your offensive philosophy late in the season, it needs to blister, then to callus for it to actually start to work.
But if they clean up some of those things we're talking about with maybe a little bit of a plan for pressure, maybe the quarterback runs a little bit more. I'd like to see that. Maybe an understanding of when we call the shot. Then I'm way more encouraged about the ability to do different things rather than the predictability of doing the same.
What we watched on Monday was a training camp practice in week 2. It was, hey, we're going to install this new thing. Our quarterback throws 4 interceptions. He fumbles it once.
But there was some good. There was some good.
Yeah,
2 of the interceptions
you're
on
gonna
the
sit there.
receivers.
You're going to sit there and be like, hey, this is good stuff right here. But that's not going to win. That's not going to win you a Super Bowl.
Not
in December. You can't
Teddy
make that in
Bruschi
December. You
on
need to do it in
Sunday.
September.
Teddy Bruschi on Sunday NFL Countdown, in the context of a different team, said if you don't know what your identity is in Week 14, you don't have a chance to win. Right? He was talking about it.
I agree.
love that
And when
take.
you are struggling offensively, is like the conversation is becoming: is Jalen Hurts a quarterback? Is he a dude that you're sitting there on the sideline when you're struggling offensively and be like, hey, we got a cat out there that's about to go under center and help make us right, like you can with Dak Prescott, Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow, Jordan Love, Matt Stafford, Drake May, Lamar Jackson that we've known in the past up to this season. But all of those guys.
I would totally disagree. I've watched Buffalo over the past 2 weeks completely change their offensive philosophy in a good way, and it's way more encouraging understanding my receivers aren't good enough. So, like, there's still a month left of this season.
Because their quarterback,
Let me get Schefter in.
quarterback can do it.
First of all, they started to run the ball well on Monday night, and then they ran the ball 5 times in the second half. They got away from it. But beyond that, this is the debate now, with a month left in the season. The Philadelphia Eagles finish with the Washington Commanders, the Raiders, the Commanders, the Bills, the Commanders. I can't even imagine how much this is going to be elevated if they don't find a way to win that division with those 4 games.
Because the Cowboys are going to win out.
If the Cowboys win out, then the Eagles can afford to lose only one of their games. And so, but if they lose to Buffalo, you figure that's the quote-unquote losable game. In case you haven't heard these eye-opening comments from Joe Burrow yesterday, we know he has dealt with a plethora of injuries in his career, including very much this season. And then yesterday, he sat down for his regular weekly press conference, and he said this.
You know, if I want to keep doing this, I have to have fun doing it. You know, I've been through a lot, and if it's not fun, then what am I doing it for? I've been through more than most, and certainly not easy on the brain or the body, so just trying to have fun doing it again.
Seem frustrating.
There's just a lot of things going on right now.
Okay, so, I mean, obviously, it's impossible not to react strongly when you hear Joe Burrow. We know the history of it here, saying those things.
Well, that sounds like a quarterback who is deeply contemplative, reflective, thoughtful about what's going on in his life, what's ahead in his future, whether or not he's having fun. He is the one that volunteered these statements at a weekly press session. Quarterbacks always are very well aware of the messaging that they send. They don't always speak to the media, they speak through the media. And so that was a message that I can tell you caught the attention of other teams across the league. They're like, whoa, did you hear what Joe Burrow said? So now every team that has a quarterback question is paying attention to what Joe Burrow said. Now, I don't know whether he was talking to those teams or whether he was just thinking out loud, but I can tell you that it ignited a debate across the NFL world about his state of happiness in Cincinnati.
Yeah, and potentially beyond that. Again, the 2 names that jump immediately to mind, and I'll open up to everyone. The first of them is Carson Palmer, who a generation ago was unhappy in that same franchise, so much so that he retired rather than continue to play for them, and unretired when he finally got traded. And then the second is Andrew Luck, because that sounded like a guy, to me, who was contemplating whether he even loves playing the game anymore with everything that it has taken out of him to play it. And we can put that full screen back up there, Cindy. I mean, Andrew Luck retired very prematurely, having played 86 games and having been sacked 174 times. Joe Burrow has played 13 fewer games and been sacked 29 more times. So, listen, it would be reckless to speculate what he's thinking, but he clearly is thinking about his future, big picture and small.
Yeah, he's also clearly declaring, I don't want to be here anymore.
Yeah.
That's what he's doing. This is the start of him.
Is here Cincinnati or is here?
I think it's Cincinnati.
I don't know if he's saying I don't want to be here as much as I don't know if I want to.
That's fair.
Anymore.
I think the time frame of I don't really like what's going on here and where my career is trending. That's what he's saying. And I said it this morning. If I was the Jets, if I was the Steelers, if I was the Raiders, I'm absolutely figuring out a way to at least start the conversation. I'll throw some other teams out there. The Rams, if they win it this year, could I see Matthew Stafford retiring? Absolutely. If I'm the Rams, if I'm the New Orleans Saints, if I'm the Minnesota Vikings.
Look, there's 25, 26 teams that would kill to have Joe Burrow. That part of it, I think, is clear. Let me ask you this. If I'm going to play devil's advocate, I'm Joe Burrow's biggest fan.
Yep.
And I certainly understand the history of the Bengals and all of that. You want them to pay the receivers? They paid the receivers. I mean, they did a lot of things that I think it felt like Joe Burrow wanted done there. And maybe there was an understanding that there was going to be a robbing of Peter to pay Paul, right? We said it at the time. You're going to pay T. Higgins. What's that going to mean? All the rest. I'm asking, is there another the other side of this to be fair to the organization? I say that again as a massive Joe Burrow fan.
No, because the defense has been bad for years, and he's the most pressured quarterback in the NFL over the last 6 seasons.
Is that what he's talking about? Is he talking about the defense?
I think
he's talking about the
the
defense
big
not being
picture.
better? Is he
All of
talking
it.
about the offensive line? Is he talking about the coaching? Does he want a new change of scenery? Because also 2 weeks ago, it was like, well, why would he come back and play? And it was like, man, I just want to be out there. I want to play. I'm a competitor. Any chance I get, I'm going to be out there.
Play with my guys. He
I
used
want to
that
be
word,
with my guys, right? And so I would say for Joe Burrow, to your point, it very well could be the case he doesn't know exactly what he wants. But he has to figure that out because he has to communicate that.
But he's thinking about it.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
And he's being incredibly strategic about it as well, the way he's putting it out in the universe like he did, being a little more vague to where if you are the Bengals and you're asking the question, what does he want change? I'm sitting him in the office today, be like, hey, brother, we love you to death. What do we need to do to make you happy? Is it the offensive line?
But they should
Is
be
it the
saying
defense?
that before he even said
But
it.
he's been doing it.
This isn't a Band-Aid fix.
Yeah,
Come on, man.
you can.
You're one of those? You're those kind of relationships? Like, you should already know. I don't want to have to tell you.
Oh, dang. You saying Dan's like that?
You should just know.
Communication
man.
is key.
Say what you
Communication
want.
is key.
When the season started, they were 2-0 and everything felt good. And he said his body had never felt better in all the training camp.
Right.
And then he got hurt again 3 weeks, or whatever it was, week 2 of the season, week 3, whatever it was. And then they just fell apart completely, went 1-8 without him. And then they come back this week and they're beating Buffalo and he throws a couple of terrible interceptions and whatever it is. I guess what I'm saying is finish the thought that you had there.
No, I'm just saying if Joe Burrow is sitting in front of the public eye and saying these things as vaguely as he is to get the attention of 31 other teams and also to get the attention of the Bengals, he's asked for a lot of things. Joe Burrow is one of the few players in the NFL who has earned the right to demand things from a franchise and say, I want these things. Now it's up to the Bengals to go to him and say, what do you want? How do we fix it? And then they have to get their problem solvers in.
Yeah, I think he's got a lot going through his mind right now to where you almost, I feel like he wants greener pastures, but also Joey B sitting there, he's in the suck. He's been in the suck for a long time. Like, he's in the bubble. We were just talking about earlier, Phillip Rivers. He's been out of the bubble now for 5 years to where he has no expectation. He's embracing the fun. He's embracing the freedom that he has to where we're witnessing Joe B in that bubble currently right now. He's probably got a lot of things circulating in his brain to where he can't quite figure out exactly what it is yet. But again, I think it's very telling that he's openly to the public, letting everybody know that he's not happy in his current situation. He's trying to figure out what he wants to do next.
It's 3 years in a row of Joe Burrow not getting to the playoffs. He's the most hit quarterback in the NFL over the last 6 years. What about the present situation gives him hope that it'll fix and his career won't get wasted in
Can I ask you a question? Because Rex Ryan talks about this all the time with us on Sundays and on Mondays here. That one of the reasons he gets hit so much is the offensive scheme itself. That they put all these receivers in the pattern every single time. They never max protect all of that. So is it possible that what we're talking about here is an offensive scheme conversation, which one would have to believe he's been at least some part of developing in meetings and all those sort of things?
Yeah, from his time at LSU, has wanted to see the whole picture. He wants people out there. He wants to understand what the defense is doing. It's his superpower to play so quickly. I'd also say this, Zach Taylor's a really good offensive mind. They score like 35 a game.
Yes.
Now, part of it because of the talent, but part of it is because he can call plays. So, yes, there is a reality where some of that is attached to that style of play, but I also can watch the Rams play football and can watch the Buffalo Bills play football and can watch the Minnesota Vikings, at least certainly in the past, and go, well, they chuck it around. they spread it out as well, and the quarterback's not getting their head taken off on a consistent basis.
Some of it is also Joe Burrow's style. And it's also what makes him great, because quarterbacks who are scared to get hit, what do? They get rid of the ball.
Sure.
At the first opportunity, they're getting it out of their hands. We've all played with quarterbacks like that. Joe Burrow is not like that. He smiles in the face of danger. It does not matter if there are 6 defenders coming at him. He is going to wait for as long as it takes to have the timing to deliver the pass. So while their offensive line hasn't been great, there's also it's been bad, but also the way he plays is also why he's the most hit quarterback over his career. And so then the
fair question today, off of the comments, is how does it get better and how quickly it can? Because if the answer is it's not going too fast or we don't know, then it's not in Cincinnati. That's just point blank, period.
Schefter, finish it up.
You made a great point, though. 3 straight seasons of no playoffs, repeated injuries, and him wondering aloud if he's having fun. I think he answered the question himself, and the question is how they all address it.